Hello and welcome to the Port of Hambeck. I'm Benjamin, and for a long time I've been wanting to paint some miniatures in 28mm scale for my new city, the Port of Hambeck. But in order to build and display and photograph miniatures, you need some dioramas, at least in my opinion, in order to photograph them. So therefore I started building this city wall, town wall diorama, with some wall from Renedra and a little shack as well, a little pigsty and a bit of a street. But it wasn't quite enough. I needed a bit more, perhaps something to go on the other side of the street. So in this video I'd like to go into detail with building the other side of the street, namely this diorama over here that I placed on its side, but it's quite flexible, modular, so it can be moved around. But let's see how it all started. I already made a video talking about this yellow building, so I won't go too much into detail with how to build the houses, just show a bit of some photos I took along the way, and I hope that can inspire you to build your own city, your own medieval city. Welcome. Just like last time, I began with a bunch of sticks. I think it's pine wood, 5mm square, quite a wonderful material to work with. Then I made some sort of estimations of how big should it be, and cut it into various pieces and assembled it using white glue, and then placed it next to the yellow house in order to see, is this the right size for a new building. I wanted it to be a lower building, a little longer building, not as high, and with a gate leading into a courtyard in the back. So I hoped it would be a bit quicker than the yellow building, which took a lot of time and went pretty quickly since there was only a single floor, and then adding the floor timbers or the roof timbers and more. So then the building quickly began to take shape. Then I scratched some doors out of some finer wood, quite simple doors for both the main entrance and the gatehouse. Then I started filling out the timber work with cork. I had bought a bit thicker cork this time. I think it was in IKEA. They had placemats made out of cork, 3mm. It's quite a wonderful material to work with. So, and then I started creating windows as well, building up frames to make the base for the windows. Then it was time to do the roof, which I did in the same way as previously. First a piece of foam card, and then some clay, air drying clay on top in a thin layer. And then I used the fine part of an old plastic brush in order to give the clay some texture. It cracked up a bit drying, but that wasn't a big problem since I had intended to make it look somewhat differently from the other roof. So I wanted a bit more moss, a bit more overgrown roof, so I guess I could cover the cracks. I painted it a dark beige and then gave it some shading and added moss while the paint was still dry. The building wasn't quite square, so I had to use a bit of force when gluing on the foam card, which had bent a bit as well. But since it is an old building, it's quite okay, I think, since old houses have all sorts of odd angles. But after a whole night of drying, I started working on the base as well. A very simple base made of 3mm plywood with some foam or some polystyrene on top, which I painted and spattled in order to give it a nice clean finish. After everything was completely dry, I glued in the houses and added some cobblestone, which in retrospect might be a bit of a mistake. I think in a medieval city it would have been dirt, filth, perhaps wooden boards that would have formed the streets. But well, now I did it and it looks pretty cool, even though it probably isn't very historically accurate. Well, once I had shaded the cobblestones with a wash, I sprinkled a lot of dirt and grass and stuff on top in order to even it out a bit and give it a bit of variation. At the end I added some more dirt and shrubberies, a small bush, some weeds and more, and then I'm calling the diorama done. I might return to it later to add some signs or some little sheds or piles of firewood or something like that, but for now I think it's pretty much done. I'm very happy with the way it looks. I think it's quite charming. It really gives an atmosphere of ages past, and it's a lot of fun placing it here, like here next to the city wall diorama, shooting new kinds of photos in new angles, certainly providing extra depth in photos. So I guess there's no excuse now for not painting miniatures, even though I definitely prefer building landscapes and dioramas to painting miniatures. But now I better get painting some people to fill the new town that is well underway. Thanks for joining me in this very quick run through of another diorama for the port of Hampeck. If you liked what you saw, then please give the video a like and press subscribe to follow the updates of the medieval port of Hampeck. Thank you.